What if I told you that the number we've all been chasing, that magical $1 million for retirement, might actually be a trap? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people who hit $1 million don't end up living the dream. They end up living with fear. Fear that it's not enough. Fear that they'll outlive their savings. Fear that one medical bill or market crash could wipe away decades of work. And the craziest part? Almost nobody even gets that far. See, we've been sold this story that $1 million means freedom, that it's the ticket to peace, comfort, and choice. But the reality is much darker. Fewer than 3% of Americans ever hit that mark just from their retirement accounts. And even those who do quickly discover that what looked like freedom can feel a lot like another kind of prison, because $1 million doesn't buy what it used to. It's not the 1980s anymore. Inflation, healthcare, housing, everything has changed. What hasn't changed is the dream we were told to chase. So today, we're pulling back the curtain. I'm going to show you who actually reaches that $1 million milestone, why so few ever get there, and what that number really means once you do. By the end of this video, you'll understand why chasing a number might be the biggest financial mistake of your life, and how to build real, lasting freedom instead. Okay, let's break down the biggest money myth we've all believed. Growing up, $1 million felt like the ultimate scoreboard. Movies, magazines, financial planners, they all pointed to that one number. 1 million, 7 figures. Game over. Retire happy, live easy. And for a while, that made sense. When gas was $1 a gallon and a home cost $90,000, $1 million felt untouchable and totally enough. But here's the reality no one talks about. $1 million isn't the finish line anymore. It's just a mile marker, and sometimes not even a very helpful one. See, the myth is that hitting that number automatically means you're free. But financial freedom doesn't come from having money. It comes from having the right kind of money, because not all wealth is created equal. If you've got $900,000 tied up in your house and just $100,000 in your retirement account, yes, on paper, you're a millionaire. But you can't pay for groceries with drywall. You can't cover healthcare bills with hardwood floors. You're asset rich, but cash poor. And that gap between your net worth and your usable wealth is the mirage. It's why so many people feel like they have enough until they stop working. Real retirement security doesn't come from what you own. It comes from what you can actually use. So here's where it gets uncomfortable. Let's forget the myth for a second. Let's talk about what's really happening. According to the Federal Reserve's latest numbers, only about 2.6% of Americans have $1 million or more saved specifically for retirement. Let that sink in. We're not talking about home equity, not business value, not vintage cars or coin collections, just money set aside for retirement in 401ks, IRAs, pensions, or other investment accounts. Liquid, spendable, income-producing money. That means for every 100 people you know, maybe 2 or 3 have actually hit the number we're all told to chase. Most aren't even close. The median retirement savings in the U.S. is just $87,000. For people in their 50s and 60s, the ones closest to retirement, the number barely reaches $185,000. And that's before taxes, inflation, or unexpected expenses. It's the dream versus the data. And the contrast couldn't be more stark. We live in a world where $1 million is still sold as the dream. But for 97% of people, it's not just out of reach. It's a distraction from what really matters. Because the goal was never just to hit a number. The real goal is freedom. And that takes a completely different strategy. So why do most people never make it? Let's talk about that. So why do most people fall short of that $1 million milestone? It's not always because they're irresponsible. In fact, a lot of people think they're doing the right things. But 3 silent killers are working against them. And most don't even see them coming. The first? Lifestyle inflation. You get a raise, you upgrade your life. A nicer car, a better zip code. That's just how it goes, right? But here's the trap. Every dollar spent to look successful is a dollar that never compounds. You feel richer, but you're actually getting poorer. Quietly, slowly. Second, lack of time or consistency. We all know compounding is magic, but only if you give it time. And most people either start too late or stop too soon. Life happens. Careers shift, kids arrive, medical bills hit. Retirement gets pushed back, or worse, forgotten altogether. Even people with the best intentions rarely contribute enough for long enough to let compounding do its job. And the third wealth killer? Illiquid assets. Too many Americans put everything into their homes, thinking it's their retirement plan. But a house doesn't pay dividends. You can't withdraw 4% of your living room each year. Equity is nice until you need income. Then it's just bricks and memories. These three traps, winner, lifestyle inflation and a time inconsistency and illiquid wealth, don't just slow your progress, they silently rob you of financial freedom. Here's the mistake most people make when they think they're set. This is where most people get it wrong, and why so many end up shocked at 65. Just because someone has $1 million net worth doesn't mean they can retire. Let's break that myth once and for all. Picture this. Two people, both worth $1 million. Person A owns a $900,000 house, fully paid off, and has $100,000 in savings. Person B owns a small condo with $100,000 in equity and has $900,000 invested in a retirement portfolio. Same net worth, same seven-figure headline. But person A, they're stuck. To live on their wealth, they'd need to downsize or borrow. Person B, they can stop working tomorrow and generate real, reliable income from day one. That's the difference between equity and income, between rich on paper and rich in life. Because when you retire, it's not about how much you're worth. It's about how much you can access, spend, live on. That's the shift we all need to make. Don't just chase a number, build something that actually buys you time, peace, and freedom. Let's run the numbers, and what does $1 million actually get you today? Let's say you do hit that $1 million goal. Congratulations, right? But here's what most people don't realize. That money doesn't mean you're set for life. It means you can finally start spending carefully. Using the widely accepted 4% rule, $1 million gives you about $40,000 to $50,000 per year in withdrawals. That's your budget. And that assumes your investments are still growing steadily, inflation stays manageable, and there are no major surprises like healthcare emergencies or a market crash. Now, let's add Social Security to the mix. For a typical retired American, benefits add around $24,000 per year, maybe more if you've had a high-earning career. So, a retired couple living off $1 million plus Social Security might bring in $88,000 to $98,000 a year. Sounds comfortable, but not luxurious. No yachts, no villas, just stability, assuming everything goes right. Because the truth is, most people won't get there. Remember what we said earlier? The median retirement savings in the U.S. is just $87,000. Even among 65 to 74-year-olds, the people already in retirement, the median is only $200,000. That's not enough to fund decades of living expenses. It's barely enough to survive a few rough years. The dream is $1 million. The reality for most? A fifth of that. So the real question isn't, what can I do with $1 million? It's, what do I do if I never reach it? All right, here's what you can actually do starting right now. Here's the part nobody tells you. You don't need to start rich to retire strong. The power isn't in the money you already have. It's in the habits you build and the time you give them to work. Let's say you're 30 years old. You max out a Roth IRA, that's $6,500 per year, and invest it in a low-cost S&P 500 index fund. If the market performs like it historically has, by age 65, you could cross that $1 million mark, just from that one habit. Now, let's say you start at 40. It's tougher, but not impossible. Combine your 401k with a Roth IRA and increase your contributions when your income grows. And you're still building serious momentum, but it's not all or nothing. You don't have to hit $1 million to live well. That's where strategies like Lean FIRE, Barista FIRE, and Coast FIRE come in. Lean FIRE, living on $30,000 to $40,000 per year, focusing on simplicity and low expenses. Barista FIRE, semi-retirement. You cover basics with part-time work and let your investments grow. Coast FIRE, you invest heavily early on, then stop contributing. Your investments coast to retirement on their own. These aren't gimmicks, they're real paths that real people are using. Not to get rich, but to buy back their time. So wherever you are right now, whether you've got $1,000 saved or $100,000, the key is to stop waiting and start building. Even small steps taken consistently can change everything. Let me leave you with the truth I wish someone told me sooner. Here's the truth I wish someone had told me a decade ago. It was never about the number. It was always about the freedom. Freedom to choose how you spend your time. Freedom to walk away from a job that drains you. Freedom to say yes to your kids, your passions, your health. without money deciding for you. $1 million? It's just a symbol. And sometimes chasing that number keeps us from seeing what really matters: the structure of your money, the accessibility of it, and the lifestyle it can realistically support. I used to think I needed to be a millionaire to feel secure. Now I know. I just needed a plan that let me live on my own terms. And that's what I want for you. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be intentional. Because this isn't about someday. It's about the choices you make today. Every dollar you invest, every habit you improve, every myth you stop believing, it all stacks up. Slowly at first, then suddenly. Before you go, let me ask you this. So here's what I want to know from you. Where are you on this path? Are you just starting out? Are you halfway there? Are you already retired and rethinking what enough really means? Drop it in the comments below. Let's make this a real conversation, because I promise you there are thousands of people feeling the same way, and your story might be the one that helps them keep going. If this video gave you clarity or even a little peace of mind, do me a favor. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Not just to support me, but to help others avoid this exact trap.